Directions. Each item in this part consists of a brief conversation involving two speakers. Following each conversation, a third voice will ask a question. You will hear the conversations and questions only once, and they will not be written out. When you have heard each conversation and question, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
We need someone to put together a slideshow for our class presentation.
How about Donna?
What does the man mean? Number 2.
Could you hand me a teaspoon, please?
Hang on. Let me wash one.
What is the man going to do? Number 3.
Steve hasn't been himself lately, has he?
Well, no, he hasn't. He's had a lot on his mind.
What do the speakers say about Steve? Number 4.
What's Nancy doing this afternoon?
Playing golf, probably. She never wants to do anything else.
What does the man say about Nancy? Number 5.
How's that soup you ordered, Max?
Not as warm as I'd like it to be.
What does Max say about the soup? Number 6.
So, where are the books being stored?
In a warehouse somewhere.
What is learned from this conversation? Number 7.
Have you heard the good news about Marilyn?
You mean that she won a prize for her poetry?
What has the man heard about Marilyn? Number 8.
You sure checked a lot of books out of the library.
Oh, these aren't library books. I went to a used book sale. They were practically giving them away.
What does the man imply about the books? Number 9.
I heard your guitar was damaged.
Yes, but thanks to Mr. Benson, now it's as good as new.
What can be inferred about Mr. Benson from the conversation? Number 10.
All my papers almost blew away.
Windy out there today, isn't it?
What does the man mean? Number 11.
You know, whenever I read a book, I always wonder what the author looks like. For example, I'd like to see a picture of Robert Kurtz.
Well, if you're that interested, there's a photograph of him on the back of his new book.
What does the man say about Robert Kurtz? Number 12.
You don't know how to set up the printer? Try reading the manual, why don't you?
I did, and I'm still in the dark.
What is the man's problem? Number 13. Listen to a telephone conversation.
Hello?
Hello, is Rita there?
Hang on a minute. I'll see.
What does the man imply about Rita? Number 14.
I should have spent more time practicing the piano to get ready for the concert. I don't think I played well at all.
If I were you, I wouldn't dwell on it another minute.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 15.
I can't understand why Harold changed majors. He would have made a great mathematician.
I don't know either. He loved the subject, and his grades were good.
What can be concluded about Harold from this conversation?
Listen to the following conversation about a computer program.
Can you help me with this computer program? I'm trying to create a report and I can't figure it out.
Show me what you've done. Have you written it down?
No, I haven't. But I remember, let's see, first I clicked reports, then I chose budget. Or was it profit and loss?
Okay, the first thing you need to do is write down the steps you take. That's the only way to either do the same thing or not do the same thing if it's not working.
I know you're right. All right, let's try budget. I wrote it down. Okay, click budget comparison. No, budget report.
We'll start with budget comparison. Let's choose this and that. Got 'em?
Got 'em.
What's the date range? Want to choose last month to see?
Yeah, okay. I wrote it down. Wow, that's it. You got it. Why couldn't I do that?
You know what I'm going to say.
Right. I couldn't have repeated it if I hadn't written it down.
16. What are the speakers talking about? 17. What does the woman advise the man to do? 18. What is the man likely to do the next time he has a computer problem? 19. Is the man probably going to be able to repeat the procedure that the woman showed him?
Today, we continue our discussion of 19th century authors. Stephen Crane had the great fortune to write two extremely important works before reaching the age of 22. He lived only until age 28, but is as well known and well respected as many more prolific authors, with many more years of experience. Crane is known for his ability to combine realism and symbolism in a unique manner. But it has been said that he wasted his genius by living hard, trying to pack his life with experiences, including too many unhealthy ones. He seemed to believe that he had to experience what he wrote about firsthand. He risked his life by placing himself among bandits in Mexico, artillery fire in Cuba and Greece, and a shipwreck off the coast of Florida. He described himself as lazy, indicating that he wrote only when he had to. He was driven to write, he said. When the muse hit him, he would rapidly write an entire story or a fragment that he would use with something else in the future. For example, he wrote a story about a sea voyage before he experienced the shipwreck. The story wasn't published at the time because no magazine would take it. But the realistic story entitled The Open Boat, which was written about the shipwreck he actually experienced, was considered a masterpiece, and the actual facts were interspersed with brilliant symbolism. Crane wrote The Open Boat to describe his experience after the shipwreck. The realistic account relives the 30-hour search for shore in a 10-foot dinghy after the wreck. The book begins with the sentence, "None of them knew the color of the sky," describing the point of view of the 4 men in the boat. The jerky, short sentence structure helped describe the feelings of the men in the boat. Crane's novel, The Red Badge of Courage, was a bestseller in the U.S. and England, and gave him immediate fame. While The Open Boat is a factual account, The Red Badge of Courage is fiction. Critics were shocked to learn that Crane was born after the war about which he wrote, because the description is so realistic. Crane also wrote a series of stories called the Bowery Tales, consisting of Maggie, a girl of the streets, and other stories. It is a realistic account of poor people living in misery. The short stories that you'll read begin with the Bowery Tales and end with The Open Boat. Look for symbolism and realism as well as parallels among the works. We will discuss them in more detail in future classes.
20. According to the speaker, which of the following is true about Stephen Crane? 21. What does the speaker imply that Crane did? 22. According to the speaker, how did Crane write? 23. How does the speaker contrast The Open Boat and The Red Badge of Courage? Listen to the following talk about termites.
These are termites, cellulose-eating social insects in the order Isoptera. Sometimes they're referred to as white ants, but they're actually not closely related to ants, which are grouped with bees and wasps in a different order of insects. The social system of termites is very similar to that of ants, but the termite's social structure has evolved independently. There are about 1,900 species of termites found in many areas of the world, but most commonly in tropical rainforests. Besides the termites that occur naturally in a given area, many species have been transported inadvertently by man from their native habitats to new parts of the world. They are transported in wooden articles such as shipping crates, boat timbers, lumber, and furniture. Dry wood termites live in small colonies in wood and tolerate long periods of dryness, and thus can survive for a long time in seasoned wood and furniture. Termites are actually important to the ecology because they help convert plant cellulose into substances that can be recycled into the ecosystem to support new growth. But termites are also very destructive because they feed upon and damage wooden objects and crops. Termites that are transported from other areas are even more dangerous because they're not as able to eat the trees that grow in their new environment. Therefore, they live in and eat man-made wooden structures and crops.
24. What does the speaker say about the similarity of termites to ants? 25. According to the speaker, Which types of termites are the most destructive to man-made structures?